coffee. Got the news in the background, breakfast news. Not that I've left the sound up, but all ready to go with get my dailies done on the Xbox. And I'm going to finish editing the footage that I shot over the past few days, because technology let me down yesterday, didn't get it finished before I had to go to bed. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, today's a work day, so I've not got as much time. I have the morning, and same tomorrow, but I'm working in the afternoon, so we'll see how we go for time, see if I get everything done. Still undecided whether today and tomorrow is going in the previous footage or in the next one, but we'll see when I finish editing it. Partly how long it is and partly when the edit gets finished. You'll know because you'll be seeing it, so that'll be fine. So it's the 5th of December, so Monday. Changed all my calendars. Just need to open my Advent. Oh, let me grab day 2 as well, because for some reason I didn't get footage. One sec. Okay, so I don't know what happened with day 2, but somehow when I put the footage onto the computer, even though I remember sitting in front of the phone and chatting to it as I unwrapped the presents, maybe I didn't hit record. I don't know, because I've got no footage of it. So we got this Christmassy cat bookmark. So there's cats cats in mittens and jumpers, playing with balls of yarn, and on the other side they're knitting. So that's quite cute. And also this rather adorable embroidered little stitch marker case, and you squeeze the ends and it opens its mouth. So it's clearly been handmade, but yeah, that's rather cute. So that was day 2. Today's day 5 though, so let's open day 5. So you ready for the paper rustling? Here's day 5. She's good with the sellotape, my stepmom. These are very well sealed up packages. Snip the tape. Okay, so we've got another mini. It's a lovely purple mini. And some Eucalan hand wash. So I don't know the dyer of this mini. It looks hand dyed, it looks tonal. It's fingering weight by the look of it. Probably 10 grams. But yeah, no idea who the dyer is, but it's lovely. Okay, so let's get cracking with the day. I don't know if I'm going to get any more footage today, we'll see. If I don't, I'll see you tomorrow for opening up day 6. Okay, so I am editing the last few days of footage. So that's from Thursday the 1st to Sunday the 4th. If you can see that little blue spinny thing in the middle of the screen, that's been happening every time I try and cut something, save something, tweak something. I started editing this yesterday on Sunday the 4th, then today's Monday the 5th, and it's about an hour before lunch and then it's off to work. So my plans for getting this up today, well, sort of half-baked plans of getting up today anyway, not going to happen. I'm not going to put Monday, Tuesday into this vlog because it's just taking so long to edit it. It really shouldn't, it's just the software keeps freezing and crashing. So, yeah, bit annoying. And it's cutting into times that I could be doing other things with, like working on my Christmas jumper. that being said, I did cast on yesterday before dinner, so before I started editing. So I started editing after dinner. So I've cast on, I've made a start. I am knitting on it whilst the software freezes, and I've got other vlogmases on in the background whilst I'm doing that. So I mean, I'm getting some stuff done, just not as much as I would have liked. I mean, it's saving me time on other days. The first few days when I was actually filming, I wasn't editing each day, so it's saving me time there. But because my software is playing up now, it's taking a lot longer than it should. So once I've actually finally got this done, I'm going to have a look into the software and see what's causing it to be such a sod. So yeah, frustrating, but we'll get there. Another day, another coffee. So it's Tuesday the 6th of December. Let's get the advent calendar open first, shall we? Okay, so there's 6. So a bit of rustling coming your way, because that's what wrapping paper does. Okay, oh, we've got another mini. So we have another fingering weight mini. This is a turquoise. I know it's coming across a bit blue on the screen, but it is more turquoise. And that's probably the light in here. Our overhead lights, we've got like a copper lining on the lampshade, so it warms up the light, but it'll mess about with colours, so it won't come across quite true, but you get the idea. So they're getting quite a stash of minis to work out what to do with them. And also in with that were 2 of these. I believe they're stitch markers, but they could be shawl pins. They're quite big for stitch markers, aren't they? So probably shawl pins. I mean, they'd work on a crochet project for marking a place. But yeah, I think they're probably shawl pins. Is that maybe what I use them for? I've got tons of stitch markers. But, yeah, very pretty. Whatever they're meant to be, they're very pretty. But, definitely stitch markers or shawl pins, possibly both. But, yeah, so that's day 6. As for the rest of today, again, I'm working today, so limited time, and my editing software is still playing up. I've tried updating the software. I've tried clearing stuff off the computer to give the software more room to manoeuvre. I think it's just decided that because it's Vlogmas, it's going to be silly. Because it was working fine last week when I did the weekly video. And technology, brilliant. So, I mean, obviously by the time you see this, you will hopefully have seen the last vlog, because there's going to be a queue of editing coming up. It doesn't help that I've only got a certain amount of time each day where I can look at computer stuff, so I haven't been able to sort of sit down and just do it all in one go. Yeah, it slowed my progress a little bit on my Christmas sweater, but I have been knitting on it whilst I've been trying to sort the computer out, so I nearly have the neckband complete. I would have rather been a little bit further on than that after the amount of knitting time that I in theory would have had, but given that I only cast on Sunday late afternoon and didn't knit on it Sunday evening at all, and I was working yesterday, it's not that bad in the sort of reality of actual knitting time that I've had. So I'll try and get some more of that done today, hopefully get onto the body. I haven't swatched, obviously, mostly because the size that I am knitting and the size above it both cast on the same number of stitches. So I'm going to work a bit of the body, measure the gauge, and if the gauge is too tight, which is possible, then I will go up the size, do the increases for the next size up. I don't think that the gauge will be too loose because I am quite a tight knitter. And we've gone down in either size from where I would normally knit DK, so I can't imagine that my gauge is going to be too loose. But yeah, we'll assess it once we've got a bit of the top of the sweater knit. It's a raglan, so it'll be the rate of increases, I would imagine, that's the biggest difference between my size and the next size up. I'll have a closer look at the pattern and puzzle that one out, because again, Norwegian pattern. And yeah, I'll show you that one is a bit further on. I can't imagine there's going to be much more for me to show you today because of work. So I will most likely see you tomorrow. Good morning. It's Wednesday the 7th today. So we've got another advent calendar to open. You might be able to see the bauble I got from my advent calendar there hanging on the tree. It does stand out, it's the red and the gold, which is nice. I think next year I'm going to have to get it its own thing to hang it on, and probably some companions as well. Oh well, so what a shame, more decorations. So, 7th of December, this is my advent for today. Let's give that a rummage. Hopefully the writing's getting better with every day, but who knows. Okay, so you get more minis, which is great. Like I say, I think these are 10 gram minis. This one is not coming across too badly colour-wise, probably because I don't have the overhead lights on, so the light's a little bit more realistic. So yeah, it's a bright blue. Again, it looks like a fingering weight. Feels like superwash, as did the purple one and turquoise one. And in with that, hand sanitizer in a rather cute little bottle. So that's hashtag Sunflower Girls moisturising hand sanitizer. So yeah, this sleeve is a clip for you to hang it off something. It's got a little opening thing there. I believe that's the intention. Certainly space to put a cord through or something. And the sleeve is all in one piece. So yeah, shaped like a little dress. So that's rather sweet. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go and drink my coffee because it is not quite 8 o'clock. Once it turns 8 o'clock, I will be doing my Gems of War on the Xbox because it updates at 8 o'clock every morning. It's 8 o'clock my time, but different times in different countries. You never know, I might do some Dragon Age. I'm going to have to restart that again though. I like Dragon Age. Dragon Age is a role-playing game. It's on the Xbox. We started playing it many years ago on an old machine. In fact, we've still got the machine. It's upstairs being a backup machine. But I've never completed it because my other half is a more avid gamer than me, and because of my working hours and because of getting other bits and pieces done, I don't go on the Xbox anywhere near as much as he does. Yeah, I probably wouldn't anyway. But yeah, so I'm very much the casual gamer. So what tends to happen is I'll start playing a game, I'll get really into it, I'll play it loads, then life happens and I don't get on it for a while, and it can sometimes be long enough that I completely forget what's going on in the game, so I have to start again for that reason. Or it could be that I've not followed the most appropriate route through the role-playing game, which I think is what's happened with this playthrough, and I get stuck. At the moment I am, it's been about a month since I last played it, because of NaNoWriMo that didn't really go well. I mean, I progressed my writing, so that's something, but I didn't get the 50,000 words done a month, but I've only done that once before, so I don't know why I'm surprised. But anyway, Dragon Age, I've got myself to a point where I don't have my team with me because it's a dream sequence. So you're by yourself, and I've only got one refill of health left. And there's lots of quite tricky enemies. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get past that. I've had a go. So yes, I think I'm going to have to restart. And what I'm going to do this time around, this is like my umpty gazillionth time of trying to play this through. I do normally have a walkthrough available so that if I get stuck, I can have a quick look and see where I'm meant to go within a level, but I don't use that very often. What I think I'm going to do this playthrough is just use the headings of the walkthrough to guide which route I take through the map. Because I'm determined to finish Dragon Age. This is Dragon Age Origins. It's the first one. We've got 3. And I would quite like to play them all. So we'll see if I get to that today. It might be that I do more of that next week. So I've only got 1 more week of work before the holidays. So we'll see. It might not be today they'll get to me. It might be tomorrow. It might be next week. I'm waiting for a delivery today and something I need to sort out when it arrives. Nothing hugely exciting viewing wise. But yeah. So yeah. If I do anything exciting or interesting, I will pick the camera up again. But if I'm just sitting around, not doing much, I might not. I will update you later on my knitting progress on my Christmas sweater. So far I've got the neckband done and the short rows. So I'm just going to start working on the raglan shaping. So yeah, so I will, some point later today, show you how far I've got. And yeah, let's get on with the day. Okay, it's 5 to 8 on Wednesday evening, and the video for the 1st to the 4th is finally uploading. So that should be live a little bit later on this evening. Obviously, you'll have already seen it by the time you get to this one. But I'm working on my Christmas sweater. So I'm past the short rows. And working on the raglan increases. Just going to keep doing that. I've got Hannah of Corner Craft Vlogmas up on the old telly box there. But, oh, that editing though. Language was used in the editing of that video. But it's done now. It's taken a bit of finagling, bit of technical stuff. But we shouldn't have that problem again, so yeah. So yeah, I'm just going to sit in it and watch some Vlogmases, maybe get around to watching Wednesday. We'll see. And I will pop back on in the morning. And yeah, should be getting up to a bit more stuff tomorrow because sorting out the editing stuff's taken up a lot of my time. So yeah, should be getting a bit more stuff done tomorrow. I've got the weekly video to film. I need to remember what I planned for that. So I've got it written down, it's fine. I'm going to get that done tomorrow. So you get some behind the scenes footage. But yeah, so I'll see you then. So hello, it's Thursday the 8th of December. So we've got our next advent calendar to open. Oh, rustly. Got chocolate today. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to have my coffee because it's early in the morning again. And then I'm going to get some knitting done, get some filming done for the weekly video. What else do I need to do today? Food shop. It's pretty much my plans. So you get some behind the scenes footage later on. I'll give you an update on how my Christmas sweater is going. And yeah, let's get on with the day. Okay, this little guy flew into the glass doors at the back of my house. Seems to be doing okay. Set himself up. He was flat on his back, wings spread wide when he first landed. He's set himself up, he's looking around. I'll keep an eye on him, see how he does. I think he's got his legs underneath him, but I can't quite see. My door's quite noisy as well, so I think if I open it, it's going to give him a fright. Plus the cat's in this room. Also, you don't want the cat getting out at him. It does seem alert, so that's something. Well, that was a little dramatic. But, glad the blue tit's alright. So it's not the first time we've had a blue tit fly into the window. We had one a couple of years ago in like the spring, so very young blue tit. My other half picked up and we sat outside with some birdseed and some water until it recovered and it flew off. But yeah, they done off it with a loud bang. I was a little concerned when I saw it flat on its back. Its tail feathers were out behind its head and its wings were splayed out. Completely stunned. But very slowly managed to sit itself up. So yeah, it sat itself up before I grabbed the camera, because at least then I was fairly sure it was going to be okay. But, blue tits are probably the bird we get the most in the garden, which is surprising because we've got a rookery just like 3 gardens over. So we've got a lot of jackdaws and crows around here. Mainly jackdaws, I think. So we get a few pigeons. But yeah, mostly blue tits, the occasional great tit, the occasional dove. European collared dove, I think, is the type we get. But yeah, blue tits we get the most. And we do obviously get the odd robin at this time of year. Yeah, dramatic. Honey delivery. Yay! So this is the yarn to finish my blanket. I may not get it done before Christmas because I'm focusing on my sweater. But hopefully by the end of the year, because it's not a huge amount to do on it. This is the main colour, or as close as I could get to the main colour anyway. And that's the accent colour. I should have plenty. If I don't, well, I'll just have to make do because this was hard to find. Morning. Okay, it is Friday, the 9th. And I'm looking at my actual calendars. I have 2. I have a little wooden tree under the TV and I have a little Santa one. Well, I say little, he's like that big. Little Advent type calendar that we just used to mark days off. And I realise I haven't changed them yet, so I'll do that in a minute. But yeah, day 9. I didn't get as far as filming the weekly video yesterday. So that's what needs to be doing today. I didn't get to it because I got a little bit distracted. We had the tree surgeons arrive at the front. As I say, we've got a rookery along the end of the cul-de-sac that I live on. So there's loads of trees there. So obviously the tree surgeons were out dealing with stuff they need to deal with. And there was quite the comedy of errors as they tried to get their van off the grass where they'd got themselves stuck, because it's been quite wet and obviously their truck's quite heavy. So that was a bit distracting, and yeah, I didn't get as far as filming. So that's going to happen this morning. But, in the meantime, we have day 9 of the advent calendar. There we go. So let's see what my stepmother has put in here. Ready for the rustly paper? Ooh, tape noise as well. Oh, there we go. Okay. Hotel chocolat, ginger flavoured hot chocolate, and chili flavoured hot chocolate. So should enjoy these. These are designed to be used with a velvetizer, ideally, but obviously we don't have a velvetizer. But you can just eat them on the stove. Hotel chocolate hot chocolate tends to be grated chocolate that you melt into the milk. So the velvetizer is their gadget thing that makes a single serving at a time frothy hot chocolate. If you watch Sian of Kittenish Behaviour, she has one. So yeah, so the chili one is 70% dark chocolate and the ginger one is 70% dark chocolate as well. I do prefer dark chocolate to the sweeter ones. So yeah, so I'll enjoy those later at some point. Hotel chocolate, I do very good chocolate. Okay, so I suppose I should drink the coffee and get on with the day. Other than filming that video and editing that video and getting it uploaded ready for you guys to see tomorrow, mostly knitting. So yeah, filming and editing will take up most of the day, so there'll probably only be a few little snippets of other stuff getting shown. Knitting wise, my Christmas sweater, I am approximately 2/3 of the way down the raglan increases, which given us only cast on Sunday, it's not bad going. If I keep going at this rate, I should get most of the rest of the increases, if not all of them, done today, and then be moving on to the colour work tomorrow, because after you just separate for the sleeves, the bulk of the body is colour work. So yeah, progress. I'm really pleased with how quickly this is knitting up actually. The neckband does at the moment look very small, but it does stretch nicely, so I am confident I'll be able to get it over my head. It just might sit initially a bit snugger than the pattern picture, but that's okay because these things will stretch out and what have you over time, will soften up rather, and I don't know how the yarn will react to blocking, so yeah, we'll see. I did end up going with the larger size. My gauge was 1 stitch per inch tighter than called for, but I quite like the fabric, so I didn't bother going up a needle size or anything, which also meant I didn't need to rip back, which is good. So yeah, so I've gone up to the numbers of the larger size, and so far it looks like it's going to be fine fit wise. Obviously I'm back here at the moment, so trying it on is not really an option because it won't really give much information, but it should be fine. It certainly looks big enough on the needle, and as I'm only going to wear it this time of year, if it's not perfect fit, that's okay. Yeah, pleased so far. One thing I did notice with the pattern, the way it's written, and with the majority of it being the chart, you've got this the graphic part of the chart on the front, and then the back is just background colourwork stitches. There's no discernible sort of image appearing on the back. So actually, if you needed to enlarge it, because the width of the panel with the graphic on is the same no matter your size, so if you needed to alter the size to one that wasn't in the pattern, you could do that quite easily just by adding or removing stitches at the side of the front and the back, because the background that comes behind the graphic is the same all the way around. So that's good to know. We'll see how yarn usage goes. There's two versions of the colourwork. One basically just has some rows added on the bottom in that background. So we'll see what the contrast colour yarn is looking like at the bottom and what the length of the sweater is looking like when it gets to the bottom of the graphic. I will probably end up doing the cropped one, which is fine, because that's the one in the image, and that's the one that grabbed my attention, rather than the longer version, which is a few more rows. But we shall see. That's a decision for some point next week at this rate. Might take me slightly longer than that, but we'll see. Yeah, hopefully I get most of the colour work done next week, if not all of it, and then onto the sleeves, and then it should be done in time for Christmas this year, which would be nice. And I finished Wednesday last night. Wednesday's awesome, and I want the wardrobe, like all of it. Okay, sneaky peek at the behind the scenes for today's filming. I will be monitoring on the laptop, and then we've got my overhead tripod here, and hopefully the rest of it will be out shot. But, this is today's filming project, but you'll have already seen what that's going to be by the time this comes out. Okay, so just getting this week's video edited. Annoyingly, when I updated the editing software, it's lost my music. So my music has had to change for the intro and outro. And it's fine, it's just a bit irritating. So yeah, you'll have seen this though by the time this goes up, so you'll know what the new music's like. Good morning. It's Saturday the 10th of December. It's about 8:10, so I'm going on the Xbox soon to do my Gems of War. I haven't started playing Dragon Age again yet, but I have discovered I can get it on the laptop, which is useful. I've managed to get myself a free Game Pass for I think like a month, and I can play Dragon Age Origins, I believe, on the cloud, so it should transfer between the two, I think. I don't have a controller for the laptop though, so we'll see. I'm gonna have to get a controller for the laptop, because if I game on the laptop, I can game whilst my other half is on the Xbox, and I don't have to try and fit everything into when he's asleep, because if he's awake, there's a good chance he's on the Xbox or we're watching something. So yes, I'm gonna look into that. I don't think controllers for the laptop would be too expensive. But, yeah, I obviously don't want to pay a huge amount. As I say, I am a casual gamer. I'm not going to be gaming all hours or of every day or anything, and there's only sort of certain games that I'll play. I'm not really into like war games. More the fantasy games, the role-playing games and the puzzle games. But I'm not going to be... Destiny doesn't appeal to me. Halo doesn't appeal to me. That sort of stuff, not my thing. But, I know a lot of people like them, but it's just not me. But, yeah, so doing that shortly. Apparently there's sport happening later today, so there's a chance that'll be on. There's a pretty strong chance that'll be on, to be fair. But, my other half has been dipping in and out of the World Cup. But, he does like his football. Yeah, he does like football. He does watch some. I think he'd rather be playing it than watching it, but he got injured out as a teenager, so an older teenager. So he was a very good footballer before he was injured. and played academy level, so just sort of one step away from turning pro, and then I got injured. So yeah, so I think he'd rather be playing than watching. But yeah, so that may will be on later, we'll see. I haven't quite finished the raglan increases on my Christmas sweater. I'm very nearly there, but just not quite. So I'll get those done later on, which means by the time it's knit night tonight, International Virtual Knit Nights, see the stuff down below if I remember to put it in, and if I don't, ask me. I'm hoping to get on that tonight after people have stopped shouting at the TV, because that's what happens when sport happens. But by that point I should hopefully, depending on how much knitting I get done during the day, I should hopefully be onto the colour work. Certainly should be by the time knit night finishes. So that's good. But right now, let's open the advent. I've brought it with me to the chair. Developing quite the habit of doing that now. Bring it over and bring everything else over before I get trapped by a cat, although that being said, he's on the sofa today. So, day 10 is a square one. It's clearly a box, there's something rattling in there. Okay, so a rusty paper coming up. Oh, you didn't want me getting into this one. Reminds me of my maternal grandfather. You could always tell when he'd wrapped presents. Yeah, you couldn't get into them. They were wrapped more in sellotape than they were in paper. Here we have more chocolates. A little box of Hotel Chocolat chocolates. Hopefully that's focusing. It seems to be. So we've got 4 little filled chocolates. Just looking to see if it tells me what ones they are. No, doesn't say on the back. Ah, it says on the side. Okay, so we have Caramel Supernova up here. We have a Simple Dark Bauble up here. And then Christmas Mess and Treacle Tart. It's a nice little selection of fancy chocolates. If you're not familiar with the Hotel Chocolat brand, I encourage you to check them out. Our former housemates used to wait until after Christmas, after Easter, and look for the sales on the Hotel Chocolat website and stock up. So they'd do a shop at Christmas that would last until Easter, and a shop at Easter that would last considerably through the year. So you'd get at least once a year, if not twice a year, a big box of Hotel Chocolat arriving in the house where they stocked up, because the prices were so far reduced. Because obviously they do seasonal themed chocolates. They're not going to want to keep them for a year in stock because they would find space to store them. So yeah, Hotel Chocolat, lovely stuff. Right, so I'm going to get on and do my jams and decide what we're doing for dinner. If I do a slow cooker meal today, then I'll need to do the Christmas pudding tomorrow because I'll need the slow cooker for it. If I do an oven meal today, then I can do the Christmas pudding today in case we need the slow cooker tomorrow. Little think. I don't need to put anything on in the slow cooker till almost lunchtime. Most of the recipes take minimum of 4 hours on low, and some of them take up to 6 hours. So as long as it goes in by lunchtime, I can give it 6 hours before dinner time. So yes, I've got a little bit of time. Right then, that's me wittering on enough. I think that's going to be the theme of this video, is lots of wittering. That's how it goes when you're vlogging sometimes.